Bishop Lamor Whitehead was just sentenced to over 9 years in prison, but it's not this that's interesting. What's interesting is his justification of this entire situation and the claims he made about the people he's brought to Christ, which we're going to get into in a second. Talking about 50 Cent, talks about Tekashi 6ix9ine, which is crazy. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Ruslan, and this channel exists to encourage, empower, and inspire you to live a life that blesses God. On this channel, we drop podcast clips and topics that are a little too spicy for the main channel. So if you're new here or if you're not new here, please make sure you're subscribed here too, as we're coming up on 300,000 subscribers, and I'd love to celebrate that with you. Okay, so judge sentenced Lamor Bishop Whitehead to nine years in prison. So he'll probably do 6. They're saying he's going to do 6. After his conviction on multiple charges, he also sentenced to 3 years of supervised release in order to pay $85,000 in restitution in order to forfeit $95,000. Wow. Miller Whitehead, known for his flashy lifestyle, they call him Bling Bling Pastor, which was oddly enough, I think I saw this dude in Times Square when I was just there.
Really?
In a corner store. And then I saw him and I was like,
was he in a Louis Vuitton jacket?
He was in a Louis Vuitton jacket.
Wow.
And people were coming up to him asking for photos. And I was like, I don't want to talk to this dude.
He's like famous like.
In New York,
Oh,
for sure.
okay.
Known for his flashy lifestyle, was convicted in March of wire fraud, attempted extortion, and lying to the FBI. Prosecutors allege Miller Whitehead convinced a parishioner to invest $90,000 in savings with him and promising to help her buy a home. He then spent on luxury goods for himself. Prosecutors said he was also accused of trying to defraud and extort a businessman and of lying to FBI agents.
It's a lot.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a summary of his version of the events before we get into the 50 Cent.
Okay.
Basically, here's his version of the events. He made a deal with a friend of his that wanted to go in on his real estate. Apparently, he claims to have like legitimate properties in real estate, and he claims to never have taken a salary from any of his churches, and that it's only a 25-person church. There's no way that that little itty-bitty church can support his lifestyle. So he claims to be like a legitimate, bona fide real estate mogul, okay? And so allegedly what happened, according to, not allegedly because he's been found guilty of this, what he claims happened is the old lady, he says she wasn't really that old, she was only 53, and her son made a deal with him on a building that they were going to buy and then turn into a homeless shelter. This is what he's saying. His son, her son, gives him the $90,000 from her, right? But then he was forced to step down from his ministry. And because he was forced to step down from his ministry, he wanted the money back. And this lady's only been to his church once. So he claims this lady's not a member of his church. She's not an old lady, that the deal wasn't with her, it was with her son. And that's his side of it. And all of this gets explored at length in his interview with Jamal Bryant, which we're going to look at in a second. Okay, so you guys go watch this whole thing. But he also says the reason he got charged with lying to an FBI agent was because when they came and they did the search warrant to his house, you're going to love the reason why this all happened to him, by the way. So just bear with me.
Okay.
But the reason why that happened is because he got convicted of lying to an FBI agent because they asked him if he had a second phone. They confiscated his phone and asked him if he had a second phone. And he said he didn't when he really did have a second phone.
Wow.
He told them, go talk to my lawyer. They said, if you have a second phone, you got to give it to us. We have a warrant for it. He said he didn't. He really did. That's the FBI lying to an FBI agent. The wire fraud is, I guess, him making a deal with somebody. All of this, according to him, is because he's one of the 3 closest people to Mayor Eric Adams of New York.
Oh, so he pulled the, I'm Trump's advisor.
No, he pulled they're trying to take the black mayor down, and I'm one of his closest friends.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the card he pulled in all of this. And first of all, this entire conversation is hilarious because Bishop Lamor Whitehead Bishop Jamal Bryant has his own degrees of controversy in terms of the stuff he said over the years. But second of all, because he's in this location and there's 2 massive pictures of himself behind him and Jamal Bryant. So like the entire thing is like, now, if this dude is independently wealthy and he feels like doing a church because you know, he wants to help people and it's only a little small itty bitty church, by all means, you know, but it appears like there's a lot of fishy stuff going on here. So anyway, that was his argument. I went down this rabbit hole. I think he's just making this worse for himself. And even in the conversation, Jamal Bryant, the guy whose podcast is on, tells him, hey man, like I'm a law school dropout, but you might want to be careful because the feds will listen back to this. And if you're trying to appeal this case, you're saying this stuff publicly now. So he basically goes through and lays out why he's innocent and why none of this stuff is true, and they came after him because they really want to take down Eric Adams, and he's one of Eric Adams' closest friends. This is Jamal Bryant's.
Wow.
So it's like a massive conspiracy. Now, and he said the FBI kept asking him for stuff on Eric Adams, and he wouldn't tell. And so then this $90,000 taken from an old lady was a civil suit, and she wanted the money back. The son wanted the money back because he stopped going to the church. He said, we have a year contract. I'm not giving you your money back. It was a civil suit. The FBI steps in because they want Eric Adams, and then it turns into a federal wire fraud case defrauding a parishioner.
That's crazy.
So that's his side of it. That's his side of it. Just to, and he's going away for a minute. So anyway, I found this interesting. This is him claiming that 50 Cent and Tekashi 6ix9ine. Now, there's evidence for the Tekashi 6ix9ine thing, but we don't know if it's stuck or not. And this is a deeper point I'm going to get to about the undergirding theology of what he's really getting at here.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and play this.
People talk about Bishop Whitehead, you got to really know what you're talking about,
right?
I'm not perfect, but I'm not wrong here. I'm innocent. And my ministry, God allowed me to start my ministry to save souls, right? To go out to the masses. People don't even know. 50 Cent gave his life to God under my ministry.
I didn't know that.
Big claim.
In 2018.
Oh.
This is 50 Cent. Listen, 50 Cent's been wilding on the internet way after 2018.
Yeah.
Okay? So if 50 Cent popped into his little storefront church and said a prayer, came up to an altar call, cool. But gave his life to God? Go ahead.
Yeah. He gave his life to under my ministry in 2018. And he was right in the church, and I preached, get the strap. That was my message. And him and a few other known rappers that was there gave their life to Jesus Christ. I got the video and all that, but I don't post none of that. That's something, And Tekashi 6ix9ine, he gave his life to God.
Under your ministry.
Under my ministry. Keisha Cole, she accepted Jesus Christ. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
I can go on and on with all of the different celebrities that entrusted me, that I pray with them behind the scenes, and you will never notice because I don't got to talk, right? And that's why the devil was mad. So therefore, the devil said, I have to kill his credibility. Because if I kill his credibility, then nobody will believe him. So this is why everybody talks about what I wear, what I drive, how much money I have. Oh, he's fake. You want to know why? Because the enemy knows that I'm a detriment to the kingdom of Satan.
Pause it. Just hold on.
That's amazing.
He's a detriment to the kingdom of Satan. But can we acknowledge he's a little narcissistic? What are we doing, dog? What are we doing, Bishop?
Is this his spot?
I don't know. I don't know if it's his spot. I don't know if this is a studio they rented and he decided to bring those pictures. I don't know what's going on here. But this is a wild frame.
He's like, do you guys have a background? Don't worry, I got you.
This is a wild frame. And the rest of the room, it just looks like they're in some basement. It's like a yellow room with like random...
With the random
like,
decorations.
what are we doing? Anyway, go ahead and play the rest of this, and then we're gonna look at this Tekashi footage.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the reason why, and I know you have more questions, but the reason why I came on this show, and this is the first podcast that I've ever done.
Thank you.
And CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Pix, you name them, they all want me to do it
Today, right now.
Right, and they did not get what I'm giving because.
All right. Cool. So this is from a couple months ago. You guys can go watch this video on the Jamal Bryant podcast. Now, to his credibility, Tekashi did come to his church. So I'm not sure if he posted this, but this is on the internet. We talked about this a while ago. So there's Tekashi with him. Now, I'm not sure if this is like the credibility you're after. All right, go ahead and play this.
This is the hardest thing in the world. That's right. Crazy. Listen, a year ago, I didn't have no fame, I had no jewelry, I had no money, I had nothing. And I had a daughter on the way at the time. And well, this was a year ago, so my daughter was already 1.5.
Okay. So
You get it. Testimony.
we get it. Tekashi
Unplanned testimony vibes.
ends up they hand him the mic and he decides to, So oh gosh. Okay.
That's like when the junior hire is going to get baptized and they're like, do you have anything you want to say before? And they're like, what do I say? What do you want me to say?
Yeah. So okay, so here's my issue. Let's just hypothetically say he's telling the truth and Tekashi gave his life to Jesus, right? At his event. I'm actually let's just steel man it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's just steel man it. Let's just say that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is the credibility you're looking for, because this is a hyper grace easy believism. Like if someone pops into dude's church and gives their life to Jesus and continues living the way Tekashi 6ix9ine and 50 Cent continue to live, I don't know if that's something you want to be bragging about. Like that's not fruit you want to be bragging about.
Yeah.
Which again, there's a deeper issue of what are we even talking about when we're talking about salvation? What are we talking about somebody being born again? You're naming all the name dropping. 50 Cent came to faith. This person came to faith. But like, there's no measurable fruit of any of these people, right?
Yeah.
Having any sort of like, at least with other people, there was some degree of like, oh, his life is going a different direction. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's actually changing. So it reinstates, and I'm not sure. I don't want to say this is a cultural thing because that sounds like a specific stream of churches are into this, but it definitely sounds like a different doctrinal theological thing that someone who's influential can walk into a church building and then all of a sudden you declare them saved and that they gave their life to the Lord when there's no real evidence of that. Now, what I'm not saying is that like the flip side is that we should then be picking apart everyone's lifestyle.
Yeah.
But there should be some sort of reasonable, trajectory change. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube is recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.